Greetings everyone out there in virtual world. This is your girl Takayu coming to you today dealing with metaphysical tools. Today's tool will be the pendulum. I'm going to show you a few pendulums that I've created and give you a one-on-one on how you can start using them. I myself, I was never really in tune with the pendulum, me being a fire sign. I didn't feel I was fluid enough to really get the energy, the vibrations of it. I felt a little awkward using the pendulum. But over time, I've come a little bit more accustomed to it, and I can show you a few techniques to get started, and I'll show you a few beautiful pendulums. Expression, personal power, the will to live right here in the hour, in a state of manifestation, eliminate a period. Well, here's my personal pendulum. This one is made out of copper, quartz crystal, and these are glass beads. And I put a heart design on the copper handle part of it. So I'm going to demonstrate two different ways you can hold this. You can either hold it, well, you have to excuse me, I'm trying to hold the camera and demonstrate at the same time. So here we go. I put it between my two middle fingers here and let the rest hang. As you can see. And then before you do this, you want to program it to your yes or no answers. My yes is forward and backward, and my no would be left and right. The second way that I found you can hold it, which is not that comfortable for me, is over your pointing finger, as such. And I think this would be better for scrying or dowsing or, trying to locate something. So I'll get a little closer. See, that's a quartz in there. And these are glass beads at the top. And then we get up here. This is the copper. The uses of the pendulum are basically for getting an answer and communing with your subconscious or your higher self. In our day-to-day dealings, there's so much mental chatter and outside noise, distractions, that sometimes it's hard to hear your inner voice or your higher self. And that's what the purpose of the pendulum is. It's kind of to help still your mind on a focus object and focus your energy on an object so that your subconscious or your higher self can easier communicate with you. And the theory would be that the subconscious is a very subtle vibration, and the pendulum moves very lightly with the energy. And as your subconscious moves, it affects your conscious mind and your beta messages, should I say. Beta messages are the external messages like your sight, hearing, movement, touch, etc. So the subconscious mind would affect your beta mind, thus causing you a slight movement that causes the pendulum to move in the answer of yes or no. So this kind of bypasses all the mental chatter and all the external noise that goes on in your day-to-day life. It took me a little while to really get in tune with it, but the older I'm getting, I'm starting to appreciate the pendulum a little more. And sometimes I have questions, or I'm not sure what I want to do, and I can't really hear my inner voice at times, or I'm distracted with things I need to do, or my thoughts of what's going on in the day. Just picking up that object causes you to focus more on your subconscious. So first thing you want to do is to charge it. So say for instance, if you bought it, now you want to take it in your hand and just, charge it. Same as you would do with a crystal. And if you want to cleanse it, you can use sage. I wouldn't really want to put the copper in salt water, but you can run it through sage, set it in sunlight, the moonlight. Very similar to what you would do with a crystal, because the copper has an energy very similar to crystals, especially the quartz is a conductor of energy. It helps to channel your higher senses and forces, and it helps to amplify your auric field. So I would charge it here, and I would mentally put my energy into the pendulum. And then once you've done that, you just want to get familiar with the pendulum, by just studying it, because even just studying it just goes on a metaphysical level of what you visually see, gets in your subconscious and becomes more one with your inner self. So the more you spend time with it, the more you are able to feel the energy of it and learn how to use it better. So as you can see how it moves very subtly. It's almost like a fluid water type movement. So I know it's excellent for water signs. I'm sure they adapt much more readily to the energy of the pendulum. However, all of us, we all have the ability to tap into the different elements and energies of earth, fire, water, and air. And there it is. So you want to tell it. Some people say you want to ask it what is yes or no, but I'm more receptive to you want to tell it what is yes or no. Talk to your subconscious mind. This is yes. And you say this is no. And then you just play with it for a while. And the more you play with it, you'll get in tune with its energy. What should I ask the pendulum? Okay, well, you can ask it a range of questions, but let's just be a little bit realistic. You want to pretty much ask it things that are questions that you're pondering and you just can't quite hear your true answer to. I mean, you can use it for trivial things, you can use it for big answers, but also in the grand scheme of things, you also have to understand that things change. So if you ask a long-term question like, will I marry such and such in the future? It could be a possibility that right now that future exists. But in time, one simple action may change that present future, thus causing that answer to be no. So you have to understand the grand scheme of things, quantum physics and alternate realities, destinies, alternate destinies. You kind of have to understand that. This is where the practicality comes in. You're not going to throw your logic out the door. However, sometimes you have a troubling question and you just don't know what to do, and you're battling within yourself, but somehow in yourself you know the best answer to your question. Like for instance, you may not know what to do that day as far as speaking to someone. Maybe you had a problem and you need to approach that person and you're like, no, I shouldn't. A simple question like that, you can say, should I make amends with such and such? In your inner self, more likely than not, you know the answer. So when you ask the pendulum yes or no, your subconscious self will tell you the highest vibratory answer that is best for you, and bypassing all of the mental chatter, the brainwashing, the stereotyping, the fear, the anger, the peer pressure. It's bypassing all that chatter. So what you ask it is purely up to you, but also, just keep in mind things do change, and if it's a long-term situation, the answer can possibly change as you change. But I would recommend a journal. Journals are great. Get a journal and just document the answers and the outcomes and you'll work with the pendulum and you'll get more in tune with it, and you'll get to see, how to use it better. And I'm a firm believer that, there's nothing set in stone, and everybody's experience is different. So, listen to your inner self, get in tune with your inner self, and add this wonderful tool to your new metaphysical toolbox. Thanks for watching Takayu Temple TV, and I will see you later.